Welcome to the Leap Chat channel, brought to you by Leap for Lupus Awareness. Chandra Hightower here, and today I'm going to be doing a follow-up on the types of lupus. Some time ago I did a video, an introduction video, and I mentioned that there are several subtypes that fall under two main forms: systemic lupus erythematosus, or SLE, and discoid lupus erythematosus, also known as DLE. I also explained that these subtypes are categorized by how and where they present in and on the body. Today, I'm going to go into further detail on discoid lupus and its subtypes, and I'll follow up with the systemic form later on. I'm going to do this in several parts because I don't want you to get bored listening to me rattle on for 10 or 15 minutes. And I really want you to glean as much information as possible from what I'm giving you, and so I try to make them as short as I can. That being said, let's talk about the subtypes of discoid lupus erythematosus. As I mentioned previously in the introduction video, discoid lupus affects primarily the skin, but there may be systemic involvement as well. Over 90% of lupus patients have issues with their skin, and the level of severity varies from person to person. You guys will have to excuse me. I'm going to be looking down reading my script because I just can't remember all of these types. So just bear with me. Let's get into the first one. It's called Chilblain lupus erythematosus, and it's characterized by inflammation and lesions or open sores of the skin, and it usually appears on the hands, the feet, or the ears. And this is usually caused by exposure to cold. Lupus erythematosus profundus is characterized by lumps embedded underneath the skin. The skin covering the lumps is usually red and blistery, and it can leave a depressed scar once it heals. Lupus erythematosus tumidus, it causes swollen or bulging lesions on top of the skin that are reddish purple or brown in color. Hypertrophic lupus erythematosus, or lupus hypertrophicus, is a form of discoid lupus characterized by thickening of the skin, lesions, and warts, usually appearing on, it usually occurs on moist areas of the body like the nose and the mouth. Lupus miliaris disseminatus faciei It's a mouthful. It's also known as LMDF, and this is an uncommon chronic inflammatory condition of the skin. It's characterized by red to yellow or yellow-brown small hard lumps occurring on the central face, particularly on and around the eyelids. Lesions may occur individually or in crops, and this type of lupus can result in disfigurement from scarring. It is more common in Asians, particularly Japanese people. The cause is unknown, but it is more than likely caused by some sort of infection. Lupus Pernio is a chronic raised hardened lesion of the skin. It's often purplish in color, and it resembles frostbite because it occurs mostly on the extremities, the ears, cheeks, the lips, the nose, the forehead, and it is most often associated with sarcoidosis, which is another autoimmune disorder that causes small lumps to appear on the skin and the internal organs, particularly the lungs. Lupus vulgaris is the most common and severe form of tuberculosis of the skin, and it often affects the face. It is identified by painful skin lesions that resemble small lumps. The lesions may ultimately develop into disfiguring skin ulcers. Cutaneous vasculitis is a term for inflammation of the small blood vessels underneath the skin, and this occurs in up to 70% of lupus patients. It is the most common cause of vasculitis, and it may be secondary to other rheumatic conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis, dermatomyositis, Sjogren's syndrome, or it may present as a primary disease. This type of skin disorder can be characterized by purple blotches, which is caused by bleeding under the skin. There can also be rashes, blisters, painful hard spots, small bruises, or reddish colored lesions. This concludes my segment on discoid lupus erythematosus. I've also provided links to photos and other references on this topic in the information bar below. Stay tuned for more information on the types of systemic lupus. Thanks for watching, and until next time, leap for lupus.